everyone. Welcome back to Full Disclosure. I'm Alayna Gardner, joined with Jim Paolino, our CEO, and our lovely guest, Brian Vieaux, newly assigned.
Sure.
We'll say,
Anointed,
I don't know.
whatever.
Anointed.
You can
We
use
can pick lots of fun words.
What
Right?
does the king get?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, no king, sorry.
No.
Okay, there we go.
President of MISMO. Congratulations on the new role.
Thank you.
And thank you
Excited.
for spending time with us here in
For sure.
Vegas.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. This is you got a great setup here overlooking the, I guess the back end of the strip.
Yeah, I mean, the Strat is pretty and the mountains are pretty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly. So
Afternoon.
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Well, as you step into your new role, what are some top of list items that you're looking at as to continue the work of setting and maintaining industry standards?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is, I think most of the industry recognizes the letters MISMO.
Mm-hmm.
Fewer understand what each letter means. And
Yes.
even fewer understand the power of MISMO,
Mm-hmm.
like in the entire ecosystem. So as I thought about, what's most needed for the organization here in the near term, it's doing these conversations and building awareness. And so you'll see probably a lot of me on a bunch of different places, just really focusing on building the awareness for the industry.
Mm-hmm.
As I dug into this process over the last, several months leading up to last Thursday, which was my first day,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned more than I ever knew about MISMO. And it's not going to be shocking to realize that if you're in the mortgage industry and you touch a mortgage loan,
Yep.
you're touching MISMO every day,
Mm-hmm.
because literally there's a data set that touches every loan and impacts the entire ecosystem.
We should have played acronym bingo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
For that. So
Yeah.
I know one of my first experiences with MISMO was around UCD
Yeah.
back in 2015. And there always seemed like so much promise of, a single language
Right.
that different software and everywhere can speak to each other. And I know that has been successful in some ways,
Yep.
and everyone kind of has their own UCD, and it's gotten a little bit kludgy. But my kind of thing I was curious about today is, how do data standards survive in the age of AI?
Well, that's a really good question. Ultimately, as an originator, I sell a loan somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Unless I'm a financial institution with an unlimited balance sheet, I have to sell that asset somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sale has, legal reps and warrants that kind of live with it for some period of time post. And absent data standards, I think we would have a lot more risk for sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, a lot more cost for acquirers of loans
Right.
in terms of diligencing. So
Mhm.
I don't know that AI necessarily is going to replace standards that exist today, and even replace standards that get created in the future. I do think that and I think where we are in the industry with AI is we're in the top of the first inning
Right.
in our business.
100%.
And I actually think
Yeah.
MISMO can play a very important role
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in helping the industry think about standardization for what does data look like that goes into the models, but then also the guardrails and for the responsible use of AI.
And it could be, robots are probably better at following standards than people are too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that
Oh, yeah.
actually it could be a chance where we actually are speaking the same language, because, the AI tools or agents for every mortgage company and every entity are able to talk to themselves a little better than people would.
One thing just to kind of go back to that question, I think perhaps AI can help. One of the problems with data standardization is the labeling of different fields, right? So maybe there's a way that we can accelerate some of that cleansing that needs to happen, from player A to player C, so to speak.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the things you posted on LinkedIn as you made this announcement was that FinLocker forced you to learn new skills and sharpen old ones. Can you tell us about your most valuable skills and which ones have been game changers for you in the industry?
Well, being comfortable talking into that thing right there,
Yeah.
that's a fairly new skill for a lot of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously the pandemic accelerated our comfort there, but for me specifically at FinLocker, small company, small counterparty, limited resources, limited capital. We didn't have this massive, marketing budget. So a lot of what we did to promote our business was organic. And so, a lot of it was on me to do. And so I had to get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's actually more comfortable doing this with people in the room. It's
Oh,
harder to do on your
100%.
own.
You're having a conversation.
This is so much easier
No,
than
I'm finally at the
digital.
point where I don't hate looking and seeing myself after.
Yeah.
And that goes, took a while to get
Well,
there.
probably and you guys have probably learned this too. The biggest thing that I learned was whatever I'm doing on this camera doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes.
Because if we meet up in the hallway, I don't get to say, "Oh, cut, we got to retake that."
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And I think it's a confidence level, I think is really important.
It's like you got to get your 10,000 hours, whatever you're, and I don't know if I get 10,000 hours, but I'm getting close to
iterations.
I just get comfortable
100%.
with it.
100%. Yeah.
I can definitely understand the kind of needing to make your own publicity a punch above your weight class.
Yeah.
We've lived that world for a very long time at Lodestars.
Yeah.
It's definitely that underdog mentality is something that I think will serve you well.
I would assume this is true, but I actually think it feels like it's more authentic when that's your strategy, because you're not overproducing things. You're in a lot of ways talking from the heart, and it's the real you.
Well, and you end up with these unique ideas that otherwise you would probably say no to.
Yes.
Right? Like we recently did a thing where we made Jim get in a kiddie pool to recreate a Taylor Swift cover. If you haven't seen it, you should absolutely go watch it.
I haven't watched it, but I saw
If you saw the image, you saw it.
I saw a lot.
And everyone thought it was AI, and it wasn't. Jim actually got in a kiddie pool back from the beach. There was sand in that thing still.
I did not get a lot of detail before I agreed to that.
Of course not.
You know what? The team was excited, so I wanted to do that.
That's awesome.
And there's the cure kits.
The cure kits, right? They take us so much time, but they're so popular.
Yeah.
And it started too. We were talking with Pennsylvania Mortgage Bankers Association. They wanted us to come up with a creative sponsorship.
Yeah.
Right. So off the cuff, I said, well, we help with cures, so just say Lodestar, we cover your ass. And we'll sponsor the bathrooms.
And we did.
Alayna comes in and she's like, oh, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it's really good.
Let me make it nice.
We make it better than that.
Yeah.
We're not going to use those words, but we're going to go with that.
I think that's great.
Well, to bring it back to some more mortgage things, it would hardly be a hot take to say that 2025 has been a weird year.
Yeah. In so many ways.
In so many ways. We've had regulatory shakeups, tensions between the current administration, the Fed, and widespread inflation. Now that we're at MBA, where the industry is gathering to level set and share knowledge, what are you hoping to learn at this conference, and what pain points or problems would you like to see get attention as we head into 2026?
Love that question. And so I'll frame it in this way to start. This particular conference is I'm day 4 in this new role today, right? So this is different for me.
Yeah.
I've spent 35 years in the industry, with 30 plus ish being in mortgage production, working for lenders, the last several in the fintech partner vendor space. And so in those, as a lender coming to the conference, for part of my time there, I was as a lender, so I would meet a lot with investors, and then I was a correspondent buyer. So then if it was the inverse, I was meeting with clients. And as a tech provider, I'm meeting with prospects and potential clients. And now I come to this event as part of the broader MBA family and staff, if you will. And so for me, yesterday and today so far have been just a listening tour, kind of condensed, because I want to hear what the immediate thoughts and reaction are to MISMO from the folks we're meeting with. And then I quickly want to, transfer that conversation from hearing what they want and understand to what they need, and how MISMO can be a solution provider. But it's no secret that probably the single hottest topic is AI and where it's getting utilized. It's pretty fascinating when you think about, usually at our events, when we talk about a particular item or issue, it's kind of isolated to a part of the process. AI is everywhere.
Yeah.
Not just in the loan manufacturing process. It's in the post-production process. It's in up funnel in the business development, sales and marketing. And it's everywhere, which is exciting and intimidating at the same time, because it's where do you start?
I was talking about this at a meeting. I don't know if you know the answer off the top of your head, but looking at, comparing this to the internet, right? If you were to take the top 10 mortgage companies before the adoption of the internet and after, how much did that change? And now what's going to happen when that happens with AI, the top 10 mortgage companies before AI and after AI?
Oh, man, that's a great question, because I
would
I don't know that 10 lenders changed post-internet immediately.
Yeah.
Only a handful really dove in and structured their business models.
Yeah.
I think every lender's engaged with AI at some level today, right? Some much deeper than others, but I think the internet was such new ground that there was a lot of let's wait and see, where I'm seeing more people say, yeah, I'll test this now.
Yeah.
And, you know, figure it out.
Well, and I think too, so many people have grown up or experienced so many technology changes over the last 20 to 30 years, right? And it just gets faster every year, right? And I think people are starting to realize if you don't adopt, you will be left behind.
You guys probably know Kristen Messerly, I assume, in First Home IQ. So she publishes her next gen home buyer report. And in August, her mid-year report, if you compared the results in August to the results in January, same question to a similar cohort, and it was how much are you using AI for your home buying preparation process? And it was like 35% in January. It was like north of 70% growing. It's probably closer to 90 by now. So like I've never seen something grow so fast than how and AI has been around forever, but like the last 18 months, it's crazy how fast it's going.
Well, thank you for your lending leaders recap and giving us some chance. We're going to also do a regulation rundown segment with Brian.
Oh boy.
So that'll be part of our other episode that comes out very soon. So thank you, Brian.
Thank you.